Good morning and happy holiday week. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. Today is the last day of Hanukkah, and I just want to acknowledge that. If you're on my newsletter email list, you got an email um, from me today with our Monday morning meditation invitation, but also just with a little acknowledgement and a shout out to all of our holidays this time of year that have to do with light. There's Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas and even the pagan tradition um, of Yule, lighting the Yule log that we sing about, but we have no idea what it's from. So just a little information about that out there today, just for fun and just to acknowledge the importance of light to us human beings, especially this time of year when the days are darker, and the light time of light during our day is shorter. We all long for that light, and I think that. Um, as without, so within, and vice versa. So even as we long for that light of the day, of the sun, of fires, of candles, of all of that, we really are seeking that light within every cell of our bodies, that light that surrounds us all the time. And this is why we're meditating also to be filled with that light that calms the heart and the nervous system and clears the mind and just gets us moving into a clearer, more peaceful state of being. And today we are also continuing our 7 steps process for releasing the year and moving into the new year whole and free and clear and open to new opportunities. And this week we're working with the good times and gratitude steps. And I'm just going to read those questions right now, and maybe I'll go back to them in our meditation time. But right now we're looking at how did this new year, or how did this year, 2025, bring new and joyful experiences to your life? And write down specific times that you were especially happy. You can jog your memory looking through your photo albums or Facebook feed or listen to special songs, anything that kind of jogs your memory from the year as to what your good times have been this year. And what are you thankful for regarding this year? And what did the year give you? What brought this, what did this year bring to you that maybe wasn't on your list for Christmas? Um, how has this year been important to your life? I know we've worked with our disappointments and difficulties already, and I've mentioned before that when we're working with disappointments and difficulties, a lot of times, because we've worked through something that's been challenging, and being on the other side of it, we can see the blessing of having moved through a challenging situation. And so this year might have been important for you to have been through something challenging, but also experiencing the blessings of it, which we have the challenging part that goes on our disappointments and difficulties step, and we have the gratitude part that goes on this step. These are actually 2 steps combined. The gratitude step is one whole step in the 7 steps process, and the good times step is another whole um, step in this process, and we're just combining them because they're easy to combine together. There's a lot, we're always grateful for our good times, right? And we got to look at those good times and the things that we're grateful for to find out um, that we're grateful for a lot of things that may seem unusual. For example, well, let me go through the questions and then I'll come back. Um, how has this year been important in your life? Okay, I guess that was a final question for this week. Um, I know an example in my life this year has been that I moved to a new location and I was excited to move to a new location, but it also brought aches and pains that I've never had before. And just a lot of pushing through, having to furnish my new home and, so forth, which is joyful, absolutely joyful, but there were some challenges in there as well. So um, that is going on both um, both both steps this year. I also, as I was journaling my good times and gratitude this weekend, I was going through my calendar. I have a hardback calendar, old-fashioned calendar. I don't use my phone so much for that except for work. But I was going through my calendar from the year and just remembering, oh my gosh, I went to Dominican Republic in January and I totally forgot about that. And my foot was broken while I was there. So as much fun as it was to travel, I was in a boot the whole time. So I was pretty confined to the area where I was staying and didn't get to explore much. But it was still a fabulous, what I did experience was still fabulous. So that was teetering on both steps there too, but I had forgotten all about that. I know I don't do this so much anymore, but I used to post pictures almost every day on Facebook of what I was doing, nature pictures, this, that, and the other thing. And so in past years, I would go through my Facebook feed from the whole year, um, and look at pictures and just be reminded, like, oh yeah, that was a wonderful time. I totally forgot about that. You know, in Rick Hanson's book, Buddha's Brain, The Science of Happiness or something, I can't remember what the subtitle of that is, but he talks about something that he calls the negativity bias of the brain. And the negativity bias, he explains, is that, and I've shared this before, but it's worth mentioning again because it's appropriate for our process this week, that our brain and nervous system really are protective systems. They're very much designed to protect our safety and what our nervous system deems as needing protection, right? And so when we go through difficult experiences, our brains remember those experiences so that it can protect us and figure out, okay, how do I protect myself from that ever happening again and so forth. Doesn't mean we need that protection, but that is how the nervous system is designed. It's great if we are prone to sticking our hand in a fire. You know, that's awesome protection. You know, our nervous system is going to tell us don't do that. But because we don't have a lot of survival mode need for protection in our modern culture, it's our modern society, we still have that part of our brain that wants us to protect us from things. So it starts protecting us from emotional things, things that don't feel good internally versus protecting us from things externally. The problem with that is that it's a nervous system's interpretation of what needs protection and what doesn't. And so it's so important. This is a my gosh, a public service announcement for therapy, right? Is to heal those emotional wounds so that we're not blocking our good from flowing because our nervous system is protecting us from emotional pain when it doesn't need to protect us anymore. We've learned, we've grown, we're in a new place, or if we're not, we can. We can learn, we can grow, we can become in a new place where our nervous systems don't need to protect us from past situations, you know, and to keep them from not occurring again. It's work, right? But it's there. Anyway, back to the negativity bias. So our brains, our nervous system, our mind-body system adheres to things that hurt and take for granted things that don't. So Rick Hanson describes it as to the good things that happen in our lives, our nervous system is like Teflon. Those good things just kind of come and go and they slide right off and they're gone and we don't really think about them anymore. They're easy to forget. But the difficult things, oh my gosh, that is like Velcro, he says, to our nervous system. Our nervous system takes an experience that's difficult, scary, challenging, hurtful, and it clings to that experience and then makes it part of us that say, okay, now I have to protect myself from this thing, this situation, this person, this circumstance so that it doesn't happen again. And so we hyper focus on the things that are challenging and we hardly focus at all on the things that aren't. And in his book, what he says to do is when you have a good moment throughout the year, when you have a good moment, take time with it. Just hold it, feel the love, feel the gratitude, feel what that good feeling feels like in your body, and take a minute or two to really be aware of that internal experience, the physiological experience of that good time, of that good experience, so that your nervous system pays attention to that more and more and more. And when difficult things arise, to notice it, take time with it, but also challenge it. Is this something I need to have this emotion around? If not, let me look at the emotion and do the work I need to do to be able to release that emotion. Okay. So, anyway, so our good times and gratitude steps that we're working on this week are so important to remember all the good things that happen. Because again, at the end of the year, it's like, oh my gosh, I hear from people so much. Oh, I'm so ready to get rid of this year and get into this new year. And oh my goodness, because by the end of the year, all that our brain has been focusing on, if we're not doing our work, our spiritual, emotional hygiene throughout the year, then all of this accumulates and we feel the heaviness of the difficulties, disappointments, the hopes and dreams that were unfulfilled, and so forth. So we're spending time to remember throughout the year, there's ups and downs. Every year there's ups and downs. We hyper focus on those downs, but there's ups too. And this is our opportunity to remember, like, oh my goodness, I am I am not the same person today as I was January 1st of this year. And it gives us a chance to kind of look back to where we were at at that time or even a year ago, and to see how much we've changed and grown because of these experiences we've had this year. So um, we really want to just take time to marinate in the good stuff. And that's what we're going to do today in our meditation time. So, in just a reminder that this is the process that we're working on right now. The seven steps process is um, a formula, so to speak, by Jane Elizabeth Hart of Center for Enlightenment. And she has a video that describes each of these steps. And yesterday's video through Center for Enlightenment, her spiritual education organization, she was talking about how even though we're on the good times and gratitude step, we're not done with the year yet. So I know as I was working on my good time and gratitude step this weekend, I had some disappointments and difficulties that came up. So I'm still processing. I had some forgiveness work to do, still processing the earlier steps that we've been working on, and we will through the end of the year. We've got another couple weeks, so let's keep churning up and doing our journaling and answering these questions and really taking time to say, okay, I'm saying goodbye to this year eventually in a week, or I guess next week we'll be doing towards the end of that process. So, um, so really taking time to say, I am letting this go. I am letting this go. I'm in a new space. I am grateful for all these experiences, and I let go of all the disappointments and difficulties. I forgive what I need to forgive to the best of my ability, and I'm moving forward. So we've got lots of time. It's not over. It's not over till it's over. And in the meantime, we're going to work on those good times and our gratitude step for this week. So I invite you to get comfortable in your chair if you're not already. We take a deep breath and just relax the body. Just feel yourself grounded, relaxed in your chair. Hmm. And we're going to imagine that we're holding a bowl or a basket, some sort of container in our arms that's labeled 2025, labeling it with a year. And in this basket, we've got all that we've worked on so far. We've got our disappointments and difficulties that are just symbolized in our basket. However, you imagine that for yourself. We have our hopes and dreams from this year, some of which were fulfilled, some of which weren't, some of which we're carrying into the new year, some of which we're letting go completely because they weren't all that important to us. All of these are in our basket right now. In this basket are our forgivenesses, the forgivenesses that we've completed for the year, and the forgivenesses we're still working on. And even as we think about those forgivenesses we're still working on, we can tap into that gratitude for the opportunity to move into freedom from these. We're freeing ourselves, we're freeing others. And now we're adding to this basket all the things we're grateful for from the year. We're going to start with those, all the things we're grateful for. What are you grateful for from this year? I just open to this whole year, January, February, March, and the springtime and summer, autumn. Thinking of the people in our lives that we're grateful for. And maybe there have been challenging people in your life that you can be grateful for now because you've worked through something with them, you've healed something within yourself, and their presence in your life has helped you with that healing of yourself. And perhaps there are surprises this year that have been so wonderful, brought so much to your experience this year. Maybe unexpected changes that put you in a better place or position than you were before. And we bring good times naturally into this process as well. All those wonderful experiences with friends, family, just thinking about all of the environments you are in. Maybe there's work, friends, family, even on your own, just all those good times that came through whatever you were doing, whatever you were experiencing. Maybe as you're looking at the gratitude and good times from your year, there's still painful moments that arise. Just notice those and acknowledge them and let them be in your basket and say, thank you for showing me this. Thank you for showing me this so that I can work through the painful emotions, forgive myself, forgive others, and to be able to put that painful moment into this basket and release it at the end of the year. Truly, everything that happens to us any day, any year, is an opportunity to awaken and grow, whether it's a good time or a disappointment, it's all there to help us wake up. So as we hold our basket of all these experiences from the year, we are grateful. We are grateful for each and every one, for they have brought us to where we are today and shaped us in positive ways and maybe shaped us in ways that we would like to continue to let go, work through, release, learn from. So we keep working on releasing this year, doing our journaling work on this, writing things down to get them outside of our heads, outside of our mind body experience. We just feel the gratitude for this year as we hold our basket of experiences. I invite you to say just a statement of gratitude to your higher power, however you understand that, and however it is meaningful to you. But we are truly, truly grateful for all of these. And with that gratitude, if you have time today, I invite you to continue your writing process on this step and the previous steps as we continue our journey releasing this year with love, with gratitude, with excitement. I invite you to take a deep breath and feel your body in the chair and your basket in your heart as you continue that work, releasing this year. And I thank you very much for joining me today and throughout these weeks in this process. And next week we will continue with the final steps and releasing that basket into the new year light as as we approach the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. Have a wonderful holiday week. Happy Hanukkah today. Merry Christmas, all of the above. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.